Hey Seeker, welcome to the Awakening Her podcast. I am so grateful that you've been led here, and I'm excited for you that you're answering the call to manifest more magic in your life by mastering the law of attraction. So cool. My name is Talia, and I'm committed to cutting the fluff and showing you exactly how to manifest more excitement, ease, success, abundance, confidence, love, and anything else you've been craving. So if you're ready to crack the code on manifestation, amplify your intuition, and play in the quantum, we are now besties. Let's do this. Hello, my love. Welcome back to another episode of the Awakening Her podcast. My name is Talia Joy. Welcome to my corner of the internet, the podcast net. This corner of the universe. Hello, welcome. I am so grateful that you are here. I am so grateful to be sharing this space with you. This is going to be such a good episode about empaths. I know I talk about them a lot, but I also know that you guys need it, appreciate it, love it, because we are in this together. The journey of the empath is not an easy one, and I've talked a lot about that, and I will touch on that today because it's an important part of moving forward. But something that has become more and more obvious as I open my intuitive gifts, as I go through my deeper levels of healing and awakening and activation, I am seeing so much more about empaths than I ever have. And it's quite obvious once you know, and you can see it. But until I realized it, I didn't realize it. So we're going to dive all into that, what the heck I'm talking about, as well as what it means that you're an empath, your purpose on earth, your cosmic purpose, the reason you are here, and so much more. I cannot wait to dive into this episode. I also have a beautiful container that's my word for a program, but it's like a container. It's a space that is held. And it's a 3-week journey all about an empath activation or activating the empath. I'm not sure yet what the title is going to be. It is literally downloading into me as I record this episode on this day in this week. But by the time this episode is posted, check out the show notes below. It's going to be all about activating the empath into, yes, energy clearing and release and all that stuff, but higher activation into your cosmic purpose, opening way up why you're here, activating your gifts, and really stepping into a higher awareness and an energy upgrade through this beautiful program. So all the details are coming, but make sure to check the show notes below for this beautiful upgrade, because this is what we need to do as seekers. I find we go through these consistent upgrades, and sometimes an upgrade happens when you read a book. Like when I read, there's a lot of books that's happened, but The Untethered Soul was a big one for me that really upgraded my experience. Sometimes it's watching a documentary. It might have been when you watch The Secret. It might have been through your own breakthroughs, or when you mentored with somebody for 6 months or 3 months and it really upgraded. Maybe it was a retreat or a program. We go through these consistent upgrades. And as a seeker, that is part of what you signed up for. We're going to dive way into that. But this is what these 3-week programs are about. I recently did one called The Formula. It was so good. I'm sure I'll do it again because it's this quick blast of energy, of manifestation, of upgrade to really encapsulate you and help you move through the void, through the goo phase when we're not quite where we are going, but we're not also where we were. And we're in this really weird in-between time. So if you're feeling that and you're feeling called to upgrade and activate the empath in you, the purpose, everything that means, and you feel safe to do that with me, I would be honored. Check the show notes below. Just go with it, my love. You are intuitive. If it nudges you, go with it. I will see you there. Okay, so I haven't done an intro yet. I'm ready to launch right in, because once I get talking about empaths, once I get talking about empaths, it's hard to stop. And especially the last month, you guys, if you are a one-on-one client, I've been sharing a little bit about what I've been going through, but I have gone through an energy upgrade myself, a quantum leap of sorts. And it's come through a few different angles. If you've been following along in real time, I've been talking about my healing journey, healing my body, healing the pain that I've experienced, and any lingering residue of body image stuff from my eating disorder, and just really going through a deeper level of healing the body and love for the body and ease in the body. And through that, I have been diving deep into unconditional love with my mentor. And it's been a lot about being with myself and learning how to love myself, and inner child healing and shadow healing and all of those things that we go through. And then we go another level deeper, right? So I've been in that. In that time, though, my gifts have blown open, and I've had a couple of really insane experiences coupled with like past life readings and Akashic record readings and this whole emotional channeling that happened one day. And it's been a ride this last few months. Actually, just this last month in real time, it has been crazy. And in that, I have opened up and seen so much more about the meaning of life and our purpose and our unique purpose, but also our cosmic purpose or our earth purpose. We come here for different levels of expansion and what we're sort of, in quotes, here to do. And I've opened up my gifts, my intuitive gifts, my direct channeling. I'm starting to communicate more deeply, and that's going to become a part of me going forward. So hopefully you guys are cool with that, because it's going to get more woo-woo from here. I'll of course be still talking about the law of attraction and how to manifest what you want. And the reason why I've come here is because I've realized that manifestation and the law of attraction is a gateway drug for some of us. Hear me out. We get into manifestation to want to manifest some things. We want more money. We want to find a mate. We want a dream home or our business or whatever it is, right? We want that quick hit. We want to manifest some stuff. You get into manifestation, your soul uses that. It drew you toward it to enter you into the world of deeper spirituality, awakening, the meaning of life, why we're here, your intuition, your purpose, all of these things. So you got roped in with manifestation, which we still get to do. And that's the thing, is as you're doing all this, every time you upgrade, you get a surge of manifestations. Every time you open up, you sink deeper into your purpose. You sink deeper into your energy. You heal. All that stuff results in more manifestations. But we're not here to just manifest some stuff. If you're an empath, if you feel like you might be an old soul, if you feel like even if it's not your job or your career, you're here to help others, you tend to slant more toward the positive and wanting to help people feel better. And you have that empath, deep empathy, compassion, giving to others, wanting to help others, all of that. And you've also struggled deeply. You've struggled deeply and you are on the journey of healing. So you find manifestation to manifest some changes, and you realize that the changes start from within. And then you start questioning all these other things as I'm talking about. What is my purpose? What does that mean? What is, this God source universe, connection to angels and guides and celestial families? And what is all this, right? So manifestation has been a gateway drug for me too. I've been studying manifestation actually since I was 14. And I say studying at 14 loosely, but I was reading Wayne Dyer books. I was really diving deep into the material. I found Neville Goddard, who was pretty old-timey for me, especially at the time, but what he was saying was so powerful, and it really felt like I was remembering something. So if you resonate with that as well, that as you hear me speak, as you learn about these things and spirituality and being an empath and your purpose, if something in you, it's like it feels more like a remembering than a learning for the first time, these are all signs that, first of all, you are in the right episode. I've got you. We have a soul contract to connect and work together, whether it's in this podcast or any other container you choose, because this is funneling through me so much. It is so important for empaths to step into their purpose, to step into why they are here right now, which is, of course, what we're going to dive into. So if you're new to the show, I apologize for the incessant dog barking. It literally started as I started recording. You may be able to hear it. You may not. That wasn't just for those of you that are new to the show. But for those of you that are new to the show, welcome, my love. I am Talia Joy. I am a spiritual teacher, a podcast host, a law of attraction mentor, and I'm just really here on the path to help people activate to their next level. We know when we're a connection, right? You're a seeker, you're an empath, you've been through a lot, you've been on the journey of healing, you have not given up yet. You are determined to live that life of abundance and freedom and helping people and healing. And you've been going through it all, awakening. It is not an easy ride. It is not covered in sprinkles. Sure, the rewards get incredible as we, release the things that we are not and allow in more love and light and all that. But in the meantime, it is a lot of uncertainty. It is a lot of crying. It is a lot of emotions. It's a lot of being brave. It's a lot of pushing through. And it's sometimes really tough. And I hope to, on this show, to help you to learn more about how to actually manifest using the energies, using your gifts, using why you're here. Because again, I look at it like, when you tap into the reason you are here, when you start releasing what you are not, the limiting beliefs, the shit that other people have put on you, the beliefs about not being worthy or not being good enough, or that's not possible for me. As you start releasing those, and that's where the healing comes in. That's when we go to inner child healing or shadow work, subconscious reprogramming. Like, we have to start at that ground level and start to restructure, start to be aware that I am not these limiting beliefs. So personally, I was bullied. One of the first earlier traumas that happened to me is I was bullied for being fat when I was about 7. From that moment forward, my view of my body was distorted. From that moment forward, felt separate, felt different, felt like if I was thinner, then life would be easier. Or, at that time, it was like I won't get made fun of if I wasn't fat or if I was skinny like my friends or whatever else. So I had a lot to reprogram. But as I started to release that, and it doesn't mean that I'm, free of any judgment of my body or completely healed. I don't think we get to that place. But when we start to see I've been believing things that weren't true, I want to start loving myself more. I want to start thinking better about life and about myself. And we start doing that work, as I know you have. We start releasing what we're not. And then I look at it like, as we do that, we get to step into who we are meant to be, which is love, which is a more free energy where you're able to express yourself creatively and laugh and love and trust in the path. And, that is the place that takes us to our abundance, to our purpose, to having the body that we desire, having the successful business, finding the one. So all of this is a lot of words. And what I'm really trying to say is I look at manifestation differently. For empaths, for light workers, for sensitives, for old souls, we're not just here to manifest a fancy car. We get to have the fancy car. There is nothing wrong with that. But we are here for deep transformation. We are here for inner realization, to basically have a life of seeking, a life of self-improvement or spiritual development. It's going to be like this for the rest of your life. You're going to be doing, maybe you're pulling cards for yourself, or you're going on retreats, or you're taking courses, you're reading books, you're meditating, you're journaling, you're pondering life. That is what you signed up for, especially as an old soul and as an empath. So manifestation, we get to create whatever we want, whenever we want, but there is also so much freedom and ease that happens when we step into our natural energy, who we really are and why we're here. That is the place where I believe this is where I put all my work, quote unquote work, like I get help or I get mentoring or I focus, and it's on that. It's stepping into who I truly am and releasing what I'm not. And from that place now, based on how energy works, we just get to focus upon what it is we want. And when we do want to call in more abundance, or we do desire to travel to a certain place or have opportunities or buy a home or meet someone or have an exploding business, we get to put our energy on that. We get to take inspired action. We get to go about the manifestation journey, and it'll be really easy because we are aligned. We are aligned with our power, with the center of our energy, with who we truly are. So on this show, because this is still part of the intro, we talk a lot about the law of attraction, but for you and I, there's also more to it than that. You're yearning for the something more. That's why you can't do shallow conversations and meaningless relationships and things that don't feel good. It's because you are meant for a different experience. You are highly sensitive. You are an empath. That is different than how other people experience life. And that is so on purpose. This is why I'm doing this 3-week program, why I do activations. It's to continue to upgrade you, continue to, not that you need fixing or changing. We all go through upgrades. And that is part of my job as an activator. I was told by my spirit team that I'm an activator. And it's been years of going, what does that truly mean? And what is my role in all of this? And it is an energetic upgrade to connect you to why you're here, connect you to spirit, connect you to your spirit team, and the something more behind your life. And from that point, manifestation becomes much, much easier. And you do get to manifest on the path along the way, as I always talk about. So thanks for listening to that. Welcome to the show if you're new. If you have been around the block with me, if you're my homie, if you're my raving fan, I am so happy that you are here. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show. This is just the best place to hang out. I love it. I'm so grateful that you are giving this time to yourself and sinking into this work, because it is not easy, especially being an empath. Like, it's hard. Have you noticed how easy we get thrown off or energetically thrown through hula hoops every single day? And it's easy to fall into the darkness, especially for us, because we feel things so deeply. So the fact that you're here, the fact that you keep showing up for yourself is just incredible. Pat yourself on the back, give yourself a little bit of love, showing you really will get there. Like, wherever there is, it's also here. You're already there. But all those things, that vision you have in your mind's eye of how you want to feel when you want to wake up with a smile on your face, feeling abundant, feeling free, gathered around with loved ones, just having that peace in your life. You're meant for that. It is part of your blueprint. And I promise you that everything leading up to here has also been on purpose. You were made, everybody listening, you were made the perfect blueprint for everything that you're meant to do. From your genetics to your gifts, your talents, your personality, your hair, your smile, your positivity, your mind, everything has led you here, which I know is super cliche. But you would not be who you were without the shit, without the traumas, without the crap you've been through, because that's part of our journey as well, is we have a lot of trauma and things that manifest like trauma, whether it's mental, emotional, physical. We really go through it, but it's so that we can get to this place. Like, sometimes a rock bottom is what you need to open up. So not that we have to get to rock bottom, but when we sign up for this experience, we sign up to go through hardship so that we can learn and experience healing and coming back to ourselves and loving ourselves and healing these inner wounds by fully accepting and loving who we are. So the fact that you're on this path is massive, and you are on the right path. Even if it feels really dense and crazy, this is all on purpose. You were made exactly the right blueprint for what you're meant to do, for what you're meant to be, for how you're meant to activate the people around you. You were made perfectly. So sink into that, my love. Sink into that. Okay, so we're talking today about being an empath. I've covered already quite a bit of stuff, but in this experience that I've had in the last, few weeks, I've really realized that the way that my guides are showing me right now, and I'd love to hear your opinion. If you come find me on Instagram at Talia Joy Manifestation, feel free to send me a DM. Let me know your thoughts on this stuff, because you're wise, you receive downloads, you're intuitive, and I love to hear people's takes on this. But how it occurs to me is that not everybody that is on earth, their soul didn't all originate on earth. So said another way that makes sense. Not all the people that are living on earth originated here. Our souls have had a long journey. So if you're an old soul, that means you've had a lot of lifetimes or incarnations or experiences where you've gone from physical to non-physical, back to physical to non-physical. You've done that a lot. But not everybody has done that on Earth a lot, or not everybody has had even half of their lifetimes on Earth. So if you're listening to this and you're going like, I know this stuff, you probably know what a starseed is. And if not, then it's really exciting, and I'm sure it'll come into your experience more and more. But a starseed is a soul that didn't originate on Earth. And realizing this about myself and really sinking into not just hearing the word starseed and hearing people talk about it and hearing just that as a buzzword, but actually sinking really into what that means, and how people that are starseeds often feel like they don't belong on Earth, often feel like they want to go home. This homesick feeling like they don't fit in. So some people never physically feel at home, and they spend their lives moving around or traveling a lot to find somewhere that feels like home. Other people just don't fit in with the people around them. They always have been different, usually much different than their family, often different in their community. They might vote differently or have different opinions on things, or just be like a different, you experience life differently. So if you're a starseed, and feel free to look into this. If you haven't heard of this, it's going to activate a lot in you. For those of you that have, this is an invitation to look deeper and really take this into account when you're thinking about who you truly are as you expand into this next version of you. As I record this, we're coming toward the end of 2022, and 2023 is a very cosmic year. They show me a lot of energy around this, around planetary influences and star families and like your higher purpose and all this stuff, because we are ascending. The earth is, the consciousness of the earth is ascending. Doesn't mean that when you watch the news or look around that everybody seems enlightened, but believe it or not, we are headed in that direction. There's more of us light workers. There's more of us seekers, these highly sensitive beings. And starseeds come in to help in the wave of the consciousness shift, help in the global awakening. So I don't remember the years. This isn't an exact quote, but I remember learning recently that there's a lot of empaths. This was years ago I learned this, but then recently also a lot of starseeds that were all born sort of around between like kind of like 1970 and like 1990 or something like that. And there's this huge surge of sensitive beings, of empaths. And then on the starseed side, the people that talk about that say there was a surge of them born in that point, and they continue to be born in larger and larger amounts because we are going through this awakening. Anyway, so I've started to realize, and my guides, my team, that a lot of the team that I speak to and that came through in the channeling in episode 204 that will continue to come through, they might even come through today, they're right there. They show me that empaths may all be starseeds, or there's a very, very high percentage. And again, this is not, I can't claim to know a percentage or say all of them are, all of them aren't. I think polarity is a human thing. I think most of them, I would probably be as confident as to say all, but I just take that, seriously. So mostly all of them are starseeds, which means that on top of it being hard to be human because you're highly sensitive, and a lot of the other episodes, as well as in this 3-week program, I'm going to talk a lot about the energy mastery, especially the beginning part of the program, and in previous episodes, how you're highly sensitive. You take on the energy of others. So you have to learn how to alchemize energy and ground your energy and how to shake it off. This is the premise behind every single month I have a Get Unblocked workshop. The link is below. You can just pop in for one. You can come every month, whatever you want. It teaches a couple tools on how to manage and release energy. And then we go into a beautiful chakra clearing where we release all that excess energy you're carrying. The reason I do that every single month is because empaths need constant clearing. So on top of it being hard to be human because of the physical energy that we take on from others, the emotions we take on from others, there's also this whole other aspect of you might not even be from here. So there's talk in the communities, spiritual communities. Of course, everybody's just intuiting and downloading and having their ideas and what comes through. Some people say that maybe there's a tiny percentage of people on the earth that are starseeds, and also there's a small percentage that are empaths. Or they say maybe Earth originally started with starseeds. Maybe there aren't a lot of souls that started here. Either way, I don't know. But what I do know is that I am one. I have this sneaking suspicion that you are too. And the reason why this is so important to talk about, and what I'm going to continue talking about, is, again, it's not just about the physical experience of being a human. There's the energy mastery. We have to learn that. But above and beyond that, there's this activation for why you're here. This activation for why you've been different, what you are here to share with the world, what you are here to bring into your business or your career or your parenting or your friendships or what you do in your community or into yourself. This level of understanding even more that you are here with a purpose and special. We are all special. We are all on the journey, and we're all new souls, old souls. We've all been in all the places, right? You've been an old soul, or you are an old soul, but you've also been a new soul. So we're not better or worse, but there is something particularly big about empaths, because we are here to activate the global consciousness. We are here to help in this awakening. So what does that mean? What does it mean to bring more spirit, to bring more God, to bring more source, to bring higher consciousness, to bring more awareness, to bring more Tao, to bring more oneness? What does that mean? That's bringing more love. And as an empath, empathy is your superpower. Empathy is the heart. You feel things deeply in your heart. You care deeply. You love animals. You're compassionate. Usually we can see other people's perspectives to a fault, to the point where it's almost hard to see the bad in them or to hold it against them or anything like that, because we also see the good, or we understand, right? That can sometimes make us doormats. And sometimes we have a really hard time with boundaries. I know you know what I'm talking about. It's because you love and care and feel so deeply. And when you think bigger, when you think beyond this human experience and you think of souls and like, this is where I naturally live. And it sounds funny, but this is where I've always dwelled. And I'm just more and more brave to step into it. I can see the higher perspective around things. I can see why we need to do this, or why we need to do that, or why we're called to this, or the overarching themes in life. And that's why working with clients, I get a really good sense of their purpose really fast, because I can see the higher reasons why. And I experience this with clients that a lot of them have done a lot of healing through trauma, or they're navigating grief and loss, or other events. And they've been going through it so far with, say, it's like therapy or coaching or something, which is beautiful. And that is, I'm a huge believer in all of the ways. And I've been to therapy myself. Obviously, I've been coached a million times, but it's all in the mind. It's all trying to rationalize. It's all trying to figure out. When we go much bigger and we go, they came here to fulfill on their karmic purpose. It's like, why did somebody have to die? And we understand the bigger reason behind it and how they actually live their full legacy, or whatever it is. And this is just an example, but we can start to have peace with things in a way that we couldn't have found peace before, through rationalizing it, through trying to make sense of it, through deducing it and proving it and studying it. We need to have that higher perspective. So that's another thing that empaths are really good at. And when we have that higher perspective on why we are here, holy crap, this empath is on fire. And it makes it so much easier to step into purpose, to step into power, to know that you are dealing with the 3D, the physical reality in your body and the energy you take on. And again, I'm always going to teach energy management and how to release and how to ground, because it's even more important when you realize, or maybe realize, you might not even be from Earth. But even if that stuff is too big yet, or it's new to you, just knowing that you don't have to carry all this energy, knowing you have the power to to alchemize it is so important. You need to continue to learn it, continue to master it. Grounding down, releasing, all of that stuff is so important. And seeing the higher perspective of why you're here. So I truly believe that your soul has a few different things. A cosmic purpose, like maybe where your soul originated from. Even if it originated from Earth and you started here, that will be associated with a specific purpose to do with where you're from originally. And then there's a soul's purpose, or like a more personal purpose, what your soul has been through, what you're here to learn in this lifetime. If you're here to learn self-love, or here to learn forgiveness or surrender or humility or whatever it is, there's that personal aspect of what you came here to learn. And then there's your purpose in correlation with the earth. And you as an empath, in correlation with the earth, your purpose is to activate the light in others, to give compassion. That's why you're a really good person to talk to. When shit goes down, people phone you, they want a calming ear or wise advice. It's why you post inspirational quotes on Facebook and you just love to make people smile, or you like to spend time on your own feeling content, feeling peaceful, because that's you cultivating the love in you, the well-being in you, connecting to nature. Like all of this is, you are this sage, you are this light here to activate others. And whether it's a business, which I love having my own business that is about that, but not everybody's called to that. So whether it's a business or it's the way you go and do life, activating this higher purpose of, holy crap, I was born at a time when it was really needed for the earth to have light workers, whether they're undercover light workers. They come in all different shapes and sizes and ethnicities. Some are doctors, some are teachers, some are mothers or fathers, some are cousins and aunts, some are spirit teachers, spiritual teachers, some are architects, some are prime ministers or presidents, hopefully one day. Some, we come into this with all of these different purposes, but ultimately, or not even purposes, we come here with all of these different ways to express our purpose. When someone's a teacher and they're in purpose, they're in it for the love, to mold the minds, to show hope and compassion and understanding and be a great teacher, right? When you're in purpose, doesn't matter what you do, you bring that light to what you're doing. So for you, my empath, maybe even starseed friend, it is time to open up to higher purposes. This also, what I find in this journey is it goes hand in hand with deep healing of the human. As I said at the beginning, it actually makes it easier personally. Just my personal journey is I've done a lot of self-help. I've done a lot of talking about it and talking about the traumas and spinning them different and trying to reprogram them. And that stuff got me far. But when I tapped into my higher purpose, I started tapping into the area of life where I could actually see, holy crap, I know why this has happened to me. I not chose it like it makes it okay, but I understand that I understood that I would go through bullying, that I would go through trauma, that I would lose myself, that I would get lost in addiction, that I wouldn't know how to love myself from such an early age. I'd be highly sensitive. I wouldn't fit in. I'd become bullied. It led me to rock bottoms, but it led me to be so hungry for the light that I would do anything to recover, to move forward, to develop my intuition, to find a way. I've become gritty in my self-help journey, in my spirituality journey over 20 years because I've needed to heal. So those two things go hand in hand. You've already been doing a lot of beautiful healing work, and keep going. For me, with inner child and shadow, I feel like those are two extremely potent medicines for empaths. So to be doing that. But as you activate to this higher level of why you're actually here, like the blueprint of you as a soul, why you expressed yourself in this way, that helps you to reach those levels where we can actually start to let go of anger and hate toward people that have done things to us, or we've been involved in their web of mess, right? And one more time, it does not mean it's right. I have so many clients that unfortunately have been sexually abused, abandoned, neglected, physically harmed, all of the things. It's never right. And so it's not something that justifies. We don't turn around and go like, thank you to my abuser. And it's like this merry thing. It's about seeing a higher perspective and going, wow, if I had everything spoon-fed to me since the time I was born, I might not be this person. For me, if I wasn't bullied, I wouldn't be so compassionate and maybe even empathetic. If I wasn't bullied, I wouldn't have maybe turned around into someone that was friends with everybody and wanted to be kind to everybody, which spawned into me understanding different people's perspectives and really being able to fit in with almost anybody, which led me to being able to help people and understand them and hold space for them and have compassion for them, right? This came because I was severely bullied. I was traumatically bullied several times. And then I also have an interesting relationship that I've had with my mom, with my body, being in pain since I was 12, amongst other things. So these things, they're not good. They suck. They fucking suck. But they absolutely have led me to where I am now. And about 6 months ago, as you guys heard on the show that listen, I became really determined and focused on healing my body, finding out why I've been in such chronic pain since I was 12. What is going on here, right? And I started unlocking that I was storing trauma in my human body, which again led me to deeper levels of healing the human body through inner child work, through shadow. And as this stuff starts to help me to bring compassion to myself and love to myself unconditionally, showing up for myself. The most important question in the last couple months has been, who am I being with myself? Bringing that love that I can give others so freely, this love that I have for animals and the planets and for people in general, and turning it back toward myself, healing myself, blasted open my higher purpose, because I'm finally giving myself the medicine that I am here to give and to give the world. So that was a long sort of rant. First and foremost, being an empath, you are here to spread love, to be love in its simplicity. So if you're a musician, you're here to move people with your music. If you're an artist, you're here to inspire people with your art. If you're a speaker, if you're a creator, if you're a healer, if you're a doctor, a teacher, a mom, a dad, whatever you are here to be a light. And it doesn't mean you have to be rosy and chipper 24/7, because being an empath is a rich inner world. There's a lot of days where I'm like, I don't want to see anyone at the end of my driveway. I've got my hood up, bringing out the garbage. Other days I'm like, hey, neighbors, ready to spread love. So it doesn't mean you have to be on 24/7, but you know what I'm talking about. You're here to be empathetic, to be compassionate, because we need you. And then you as a person are also here with a unique purpose. And that's to do with the things you're here to overcome. There's been a theme in your life, and we're going to dive deep in this 3-week program. I also touch on this in the program, Empowered Empath, that I've ran in the past. There's a reason you're here. Actually, also Inspired to Serve, which was for entrepreneurs. There's a reason you're here on the physical plane beyond just the purpose for humans. You're also here to go with that theme. So what has your whole life been about? You know, if you're like, oh man, my whole life has been about learning to love myself, or learning how to have boundaries, or helping other people, or feeling loved and valuable. Or maybe it's been relationship issue after relationship issue, which has thrown you into the pool of deep self-love because you realized it was a reflection of that. What has your life been about? Have you been abandoned many times? If that's the case, and that's like me, one of my biggest personal missions is to not abandon myself. Again, who am I being with myself? To be there and love myself and not abandon myself, because that's what I've always done. So that's part of my personal purpose here. So there's many different ways to look at it. And then there's the layer of purpose about where you came from as a soul and what that tells us. But there's many different things to consider. And the biggest thing that I want you to hear in this episode and feel in this episode is that you are not alone. You are here for a very special purpose. And even the way you manifest is going to be through alignment and through love and about showing up authentically as who you are, being real, getting into that state of overflow where you are in love with yourself and you're appreciating life and you're in gratitude. And yeah, we have to go through the healing to get to that place, or we have to be moving through mud. There's obviously the mud and the lotus exist at the same time. I am a mess and I am perfection. I'm a work in progress, and I'm also so much farther ahead where I used to be. And I've also got so much farther to go. We are always the duality. We live in duality. That's part of this human experience that we really have to understand and have compassion for. But really just realizing that you have come here to spread love. That is what we are going through as an awakening. That is what we are going through as a planet. We're moving from 3D to 4D to 5D, and we need you, those feelers that live between the worlds, that are half in the energetics and half in the physical life, half in the imagination and half in the to-dos in the physical, right? You're walking between the worlds. You're an empath. You're a highly sensitive being, which means you pick up on energy beyond the 3D, which is a clear indicator that you are here to help us to ascend from that 3D into 4D, into 5D. And along this way, like I say, manifestation gets a whole lot fucking easier because we're not in resistance constantly. And what I mean by that, to break it down even more, is if I'm trying to manifest a dream home and I'm coming from, oh, I got to manifest this dream home because it'll make me worthy, because then I can put it on Instagram, or then it'll really show me that I've made it, or that'll show them, I'm going to go off and fuck them. I'm going to manifest this home. Or I feel inadequate. I need to have a quick win. I need to manifest something to feel better about myself. If I try to do that, it's going to be a long road of desperately trying to manifest to feel okay. But when you go the other angle, which doesn't seem like manifestation work, it's embodying who you truly are. It's healing what you're not. It's becoming alive in your cells and awake to your purpose. That is when you simply put your focus on something. You go, from this whole and aligned place where I love myself. I'm not perfect, but I love the fact that I'm not perfect, and that brings me into harmony. From this place, I desire to heal my body, or to make more money, or to travel the world, or to, start a business. And from that place, it's going to be so much easier. You just need to use the law of attraction and materialize something, which from no resistance is very easy. So you can do the manifestation route, the typical manifestation way of repeating things and mantras and writing out a whole bunch of shit and saying to yourself that you're a millionaire and, just visualizing it, which is powerful when there's no resistance. But when you're filled with resistance, it's time to clear the path to continue doing your deep healing work and to tap into the fact that you were made perfectly, that you don't need to fix yourself. You don't need to change yourself, because it's all been leading you to this place where you realize that you don't need to fix yourself, that you don't need to change yourself, that you were made you on purpose. That is the reason we do all of this work. There's so many different ways to heal, right? And some people do like Reiki healing or some sort of energetic healing, energy clearing. There's inner child work, there's shadow work, there's therapy, there's different forms of trauma healing. All of these things are beautiful and have their place. And where they lead you, the end result of all of that stuff is learning how to love yourself. Think about it. For you to go back and heal what happened in your childhood, you come out, the end result is you come out with more compassion for what you've been through, more love for yourself, less anger at other people, or more tools to cope because you're worth it. You start to realize that you are worthy of it. If you try to do, therapy, it's to be heard. It's to be validated in some ways, or to see things differently so that you bring peace to it, so that you bring understanding to it. We do all of these things, even EFT tapping. We move through dense energies. We move through the triggers to get to the other side, which is what? Love, calm, peace, compassion for ourselves and where we are and what we do. It always comes back to self-love. We've been told on every calendar and every quote since the beginning of time, love yourself, right? You have to love yourself first. The answer is love. God is love. Put on your own oxygen mask. All of these things are bringing us back. It's the truth. It's everything we do to heal and transform and ascend is all to get back to this place of love. And that is your purpose. That is a huge part of why you're here, because as you do that within yourself, you are more able to pass that love on to others. So as an empath, there's a few really important parts that I want to touch on quick that I'm going to dive deep into in the program, and then I'm going to go. You need to recognize why you're here. You need to start diving into your unique gifts. This is to activate the empath, to be an activated empath. Why you're here, your unique gifts, your different levels of your purpose. And then we need to create devotion and ritual to loving ourselves, to connecting to spirit, to connecting to our higher purpose, to connect to ourselves, to tap back in, to pour back in. That's why you've been called to more self-care practices, more spiritual practices, because it's coming back home. So you also need to be doing that physical energy release, as I was talking about, grounding, releasing energy. The Get Unblocked monthly workshops are great for that. That's a chakra clearing. However you clear energy and ground and release, that's really important as well. To be an activated empath, we really want to start tapping deeper into our intuition and listening to the callings of our soul that is pulling us forward into this higher purpose, into these levels of healing, into this superpower of love that we are here to heal ourselves with and heal the world with. We also need to ground into the fact that we are human. And there's things that we can do to ground in, to plant into that time, to own our mission, to know that we are here. There's ways we can manage our energy and tap into this purpose, but plant here for a bit. Be okay with being here for a bit because, my love, you have a sacred mission. I feel like that is what I need to say for today. You have a very special purpose as an empath. You are here for far more than what meets the eye. It is my honor to help you, to be here, to offer these. If you want to work one-on-one, especially before 2023 comes, my rates are going to be going up in 2023. If you want to work together, activate deeper levels of your purpose, reach out to me. The links are below: Instagram, email, whatever suits your fancy. And this is a really, really big time. It is of utmost importance to keep pouring back into yourself and to activate the true power and magic of being an empath. So hopefully I will see you in the Empath Activation Program, the 3-week one, or one-on-one mentoring, or right back here at the podcast. I love you so much, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you for tuning into the show. I truly hope that it served you, and it means so much to know that there's seekers out there like you on the path, really willing to give it your all and go all in. And if you do find value in this show, I would be so honored if you'd leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It really actually makes a huge difference to the success of the show, and I just love seeing your words and being supported. So thank you so much. The link for that is in the show notes, and also down there, you'll find some links for some free gifts.